Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new here, we are in my sewing room, and I'm just sewing. What I'm doing right now, you actually see I have you where you can kind of see on my table. I am cutting. I'm sorry if I sound winded here. I think I told y'all what was going on a few days ago. I just got the crud going again, guys. But I know what it is, it's just the cold weather. What I'm doing right now is I'm just taking some of my leftover fabrics from the Full Hearts project. And I am cutting them down into 3-inch strips. What I will be doing with these, not 3-inch, 3.5-inch, guys, 3.5 inches. What I will be doing with these strips is making gifts out of them. Now, I still have a good bit of fabric over here that I can still use for something else. I just noticed this piece of fabric is directional, but it's not going to matter. It's just going to be whatever. But I am making some Valentine's Day gifts. Excuse me, my nose is itching. How are y'all doing? Hope your nose isn't itching too. We are chugging along, guys. Y'all know I just got off some crazy hours. And it's actually it's after 8:30. But I came in today and I was like, no, I'm going to sit down and rest. And that rest ended up me taking a nap. Sometimes, guys, you just have to take a nap. You just have to. And today I've been on the struggle bus. It has been misting all day today, and I just want to sleep when it's doing that. Well, it's rained most of the day. Just before I came in here, it was misting because I looked outside. 2 of my kitty cats are outside that need to come in for the night. And one of them came in, and one of them has not. She has taken a liking to being outside at night, and I don't like that. Mainly because what she does when she's out there, we have a stray outdoor cat, and she fights with it, and I don't like that. That other kitty cat deserves to have her peace too. The one that stays outside isn't very social. We have one in the house that's not very social, that if she don't chill out, she's going to be outside too. Because we have just changed to new litter pans. And she has decided, well, we changed to new litter pans because she wasn't using the old one. And we had 2 different kinds. We had just the regular pan, litter pan. And then we had the, like the robot litter pan that rolls itself. Well, the one we had was an older one that our oldest daughter gave us when she moved to her new house. And it was on its last leg when we got it. But we thought, okay, well, maybe it just had other cat scents on it. She wasn't going to use it. She kept using the bathroom outside of the pan. The actual pan litter pan. So we've tried to, and now we're on a new robot litter pan. All the cats but her use it. And this is the one that my husband, he keeps telling me she's autistic. I don't know how they would diagnose that in a cat. But I told him, I said, I think she must be like an inbred cat or something, the product of inbreeding, because we've had a cat like that. And we got her from a shelter. So it's very possible that could be the case. But, oh, I need to cut one more here. I told him, I'm like, if she can't learn to use the potty, you know, the litter pan, she's going to have to go outside. This is the cat that does not go outside. So we only have 2 that doesn't go outside. It's her and our new kitten that we have. Because we like to train a cat in the house first before we let it outside. We like to make sure that it knows commands to come back and come in when it's time. So we like to give them, you know, the cats a little bit of time before I don't guess I need to use this 12-inch, because all I need is a 6-inch ruler, and this will work 6 inches. What I'm doing is I'm cutting 3.5 by 12 strips. And I'm just putting them on the fold here. So when I cut them and I open them up, they're 12 inches. So guys, that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm just trimming up, kind of getting ready for Valentine's Day. These are going to be some gifts for Valentine's Day. I may make some, and I'm just doing this because I had some of this fabric left. So why not use it for something that, instead of, you know, scrapping it, because I'm not very likely going to use this fabric for anything else. So I guess, you know, it's a good idea to try to utilize it. Use up your scraps where you can. And I still have good sized pieces here that if I want to use it for something else, I can, you know, maybe a potato chip quilt, because those are pretty decent sizes. But what I'm going to do is make keychain, you know, wrist holders with these. You know, and they can go in a cute little Valentine bag. I've got to I keep forgetting to order my designs for my in the hoop Valentine bags that I want to make. And I'll be able to use some of this fabric for some appliquing as well, you know, for my grandbabies, making them like a Valentine shirt or something with applique on it. Making sure I'm putting the right one here. But that's what I'm doing, guys. Like I was saying earlier, though, it's been raining most of the day. And when I looked outside earlier, it was misting. It's going to be real foggy tomorrow, probably. We were up in the upper 50s today. So, who knows what it's going to be like tomorrow. You know, I mean, who knows? Now, some of these won't be gifts. You know, I have so many bags that I'll make. But some of these I may actually put online to sell, or I may put in my D-stash. So, cute little gift ideas going in a D-stash, maybe. I'm pretty certain some of them will go, a couple of them at least. Because I think I'll be able to make, I think we only need like 5 or 6 bags for some women that we're doing this for. I think that's all we're going to need. So the next thing I have is fusible interfacing. This is 12 inches by 30 yards. Now, guys, I'll link down in the description the things I used tonight. All I'm doing tonight is cutting my fabric and cutting my fusible interfacing. I still need to do my labels for it, and I still need to get like the hardware for it also. I have some of the hardware. Y'all saw some of it on a prior shopping haul that I did. Well, I've gotten more stuff now. My stuff finally came in. So what I need to do is cut this at 3.5, and it's by 12. So what I will do, now fusible interfacing has one side that's rough and one side that's smooth. And this ruler is only 10 inches. That's a perfect 10 ruler. So I'll have to get this one. This isn't my favorite one. When I first started quilting, I got this on Amazon. It has no grippies on the back. It's just a cheap ruler. I mean, that's the only thing I can say about it. It's very cheap. And this is not cut even. So what I'm going to do is start it off even. You could actually look at it and tell it wasn't. So I'm going to cut this at 3.5 inches. It's 12 inches long. I don't know how many I have. Let's see. I have 9 here, so that's not bad. So what I'll do is cut 9 off of this. And I'll start it over here at the 3.5 on the line. And what this fusible interfacing does is it helps stabilize the keychain thing that I'm making. It keeps it stiff. And we're doing the 12 inches just because that's a good, number one, because my interfacing comes in 12 inches. And so I cut my wristlet. No, I can't call it wristlet because I will be making wristlets too. My key fob part. That's why we do those at 12 inches. And when you fold them over to clamp them shut, 12 inches, it works out great. It works out really, really well. And it helps even more that this is already at 12 inches, so that's something you don't have to cut. You know, we want to take as many shortcuts as we possibly can, so we're not having to cut all the pieces. It's almost like this is pre-cut for you on one end. Yeah, if I didn't cut that out, I have to keep checking my mic because I keep forgetting to cut it on, and I end up with half a video without sound on it, and that just don't work. But you know, that's me. I am no professional here. I do not claim to be a professional. I love what I do. I love crafting. I love creating things. So I have 6 here already, so I need 3 more. Probably get 3. If I roll it out like this, I can get 3 out of it, I'm thinking. But it just helps to have something that's already cut to the length that you need, so you don't have to worry about cutting. It's more accurate as well, because we know this is going to be 12 inches long, and we will want to making sure I'm doing the right number here. The next thing I will do is I will press all of these on here. So I'm just cutting and doing things like in a assembly line type fashion here. I need to make sure I keep this on here because I have too many rolls of stuff over here. Like I have a wash away stabilizer. I don't need to mix these up. And guys, these flat beans that we got in that Advent box, they work perfect. So let's see. Wrong way. There we go. They hold everything on here for you. So now that I have all of these cut out, I am going to press them on here. So let me get my iron heated up and we'll start pressing. Okay, so here I have my Martelli roundabout and my Aliso. This is a M3 Pro, I think. Yes, it's an M3 Pro. I like it because it's small. I don't need a really large iron. Now, I've watched videos on people making these. They do them lots of different ways. I've made them lots of different ways. I've done them where they don't have the interfacing in them, that they actually have that, it's like that narrow batting that you use to make the rugs. And I may actually have a roll of that. I'm not sure if I do or not. But the first thing I'm going to do is lay this out. Some people say steam, some say no steam. I don't use steam. I don't put water in my iron at all, just because I end up having to clean it and it spits and sputters. I've never done it with this iron. I've just never put water in it. But I flatten my fabric. You see that? Right side down. I take my interfacing here and I lay it down on that. Now I have this, I can't even remember what it's called, but I have this for my heat press, and I also like to use it when I use my iron. I'm double checking to make sure my rough side is down. I probably need to put a piece under, because we don't want to be ironing this and have an edge over it that sticks to my roundabout over here. Now I have two pieces of these. I have put one on and put one on the bottom. I'm going to lay one on the top, and that allows me to put heat on it and not have to worry about sticking it to my iron or to my pressing board. And guys, y'all can see my mess over here. Y'all can see all the stuff over here. I got a mess, guys. I need to be working in my sewing room, getting it clean. But I think using some of my scraps up is going to help, because that's what this stack right here is. Most of that is scraps. And I've got to decide how I'm going to handle them. If I'm going to card them up, or if I'm going to cut them up, or donate them. So it doesn't really take long to stick that. Because see, it's already adhered there. I just give it a little extra time. You know, why not? It don't hurt to do it. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on and put the interfacing on all of my pieces. And using these sheets, you can use parchment paper. Parchment paper works fine. I actually have a box of it back there. I actually prefer to do that when I'm doing a lot, but this works fine too. I have these and they're the right size. But I normally use these with my heat press, and you may be able to see my heat press right there. It may be off screen for you guys, but I can see it on my end in the screen, so I don't know if you can see it or not. But I will be pulling my heat press out and doing some labels to put on this. I had ordered labels a while back before the holidays. And guys, they never came in. Never came in. I spent, you know, I would say a decent amount of money. I mean, because when you pay $80 for labels, you expect them to come in. Well, they've not come in. Thankfully, I always pay through Shop or PayPal. And PayPal is pretty easy to deal with. When you don't receive something, you just file. I've had a lot of issues, you guys, with ordering things online, which kind of just makes me want to do my own thing, you know. So I found, I don't know what it's called, Little Hill Homestead or something like that. And she was making these too. And so I watched how she made them. Everything we did was exactly the same, down to the same. I haven't made these in over a year. I mean, this was I would make something like this when I was doing garment sewing. We'd make a lot of little gift things. So I hadn't made anything like this in a really long time. But when I saw how she did hers, I was like, that's exactly how I make mine. But, you know, there was some things different. You know, we didn't have all of the tools that they have now. And we didn't do the hardware. We put the ring inside the fabric. But now they have these little devices to crimp and clamp and everything else. And because I remember I used to make lanyards when I was in mortgage banking. Because those that you find were just ugly. I just didn't like them. So we beaded lanyards. We sewed lanyards. We made all kind of lanyards. Got to do my fabric first. I was just about to put an interfacing down, guys. So tonight, as you can tell, it's a day in the life. I'm getting ready for Valentine's Day, for gifts. And this is just one of several that we'll be making. I did see the video that, I think it's called Little Hill Homestead. I think that's what it's called, is Little Hill Homestead. And she was making wristlets too, so I'm going to try a wristlet. But these, I didn't have enough fabric to make. Well, I can make wristlets or I can make key fobs. And the key fobs can stand alone, you know, but the wristlets couldn't. So I was like, well, we're going to do the key fobs. For Valentine's Day, these are just something real cute. And if I can, I have one fabric that will make a wristlet. So I may try to make a wristlet out of the one fabric. But the rest will give us gifts, and whatever's left, we'll probably offer it up on my D-Stash or on eBay. Because, yes, I do sell on eBay as well. I don't have a lot of things on eBay right now. I haven't uploaded and updated because I just haven't had a lot of time to replenish. I used to love doing craft shows, but that requires you to have so much stock up front, and that's a big out-of-pocket expense. You know, if you don't have a client base already, which I really don't have a client base. I just like to make things, and I just sell things locally. I don't really promote my name, you know, my brand name, which is My Hobby Home. I'm a small timer. I'm not a big timer, guys. I'm a small timer. I'm like your craft show junkie. I love to go to craft shows and art and folk festivals. I remember growing up where I grew up. I grew up in Columbia, Louisiana. That's where I went to high school at. It's not really where I grew up, but that's where I went to high school at. And we had what they called riverboat days. And they had a parade and a dance, and, you know, they had a parade during the day. Then they had crafts and things like that. And then they had a street dance at night. Oh, and all the things we did as youngins, I'm telling you. But anyway, at riverboat days, well, and there was actually the Art and Folk Festival that was held at our community center. There was a thing where they actually made, there was one place where they ground corn and made cornmeal. And then they had the like concrete thing where they actually made molasses. They boiled something down and it was like a syrup. I can't remember if it was like molasses or cane syrup, or can't remember what it was. It's probably cane syrup, because we have a lot of sugar cane here. But, you know, that's kind of almost like a lost art. And I found somebody on YouTube the other day. I'm trying to think of what his name. It was Deep South something. But I saw them doing that. I was like, oh, that is so interesting. Okay, friends, so we have prepped our 9 pieces here to get ready to start sewing. I'm not going to sew them tonight. I'm just prepping things right now, getting ready, trying to get some of these scraps out of my way. And, you know, I may make them into something else. I don't know, but I do need to get me an applique bin for, like, Valentine's Day fabrics. because I like to make cute little Valentine's Day things. And some of the little bags that I will be making for Valentine's Day also have applique on them. So I may do a de-stash right before, well, it's the beginning of February. If I'm going to do it, I better do it fast. But I don't know when I'm going to get the bags done. So those may not go in a de-stash. But I know I'm making some for my grandbabies. I'm going to hit this pile with my iron again. Not that it needs it, but... So, friends, this is the first step of prepping for my keychains. You can do a lot of these real fast. I was watching the one where I think it's Little Hill Homestead. And except I think that one was Little Hill Craft Co. I think that's what that channel, they have two, Little Hill Homestead and Little Hill Craft Co. And that, I think that's what she was doing, was showing how you could just do them real fast. And I remember doing that. Now, how she folded hers was a lot different than how I did mine before. So I'm going to try the way she does it. She would fold it in half. So let me cut my iron. I cut my iron off, but let's fold it back in half. I'm going to do it where I can see the edge. I'm going to lay my edges together here. So this is how she did it. She would iron hers. And see, I did mine like a tube and turned them inside out and then stitched them. But she folded it in half like this. So you've got it folded in half. And then she would take this and fold it in again, but not fold it all the way to that center line. And then she would press that down. Now, we didn't do this. Like I said, we did ours like a tube and turned it inside out, which I don't know which way would be quicker. Ours wasn't nothing fancy about it, y'all. Wasn't nothing fancy about it at all. Let's see if I got that even. See, I am right-handed, so having my iron back here to the left of me is really hard. And then you take this other piece. Now, we got to remember, we got to keep it where we've got that crease. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it to help me see where that crease is. So this may not be faster for me, because before I would just do right sides together, sew down it, and then when I flipped it, we did a stitch on the outside, you know, just a top stitch. I'm just running the tip of my iron on that too. See, that's hard for me to get that even. I know that already. That's hard for me to get that even. So let's try this. We're going to go on and do just the sewing of one. Now I'm going to put it at 1/8 of an inch. Now I should change my thread for this. Goodness. It's thick, so it was hard to get started under there. My needle's acting like I must have hit a pin or something, and I know I hadn't hit anything with that. Now, I don't recall if she put a stitch on the other side as well, but I always do. I just like it. I think it makes it more uniform looking. I'm going to start up there a little bit and you'll see my table's not even on my machine right now. I've taken it off so I could cut my fabrics. Now, I should have reversed on that end, but I didn't, because I don't think we're going to have an issue with it coming undone. Okay, so this would be our thing. And how we used to do them, we would flip them like this. But that was for lanyards, not keychains. So for keychains, it would be like this. And I would put a hardware here on this end with a swivel, and it would have a clasp on it as well. And I would also put a label on here. But I don't have my labels done yet, and I don't have my swivels and things here. But it's just nice to go in and see how it's done. I'll probably do one from beginning to end for you guys later on. But just today, I didn't have a lot of time. And I just wanted to get in and do something because I haven't been in here. I came home, I ate, I rested. I've not even done dishes or laundry or nothing. But that's not unusual if I make it to my sewing room. But I hadn't even made it to my sewing room until almost 9 o'clock. And now it's after 9. So, friends, we got a semi-demonstration here of making a key fob for you. These are going to be some Valentine's Day gifts. These are quick, easy gift ideas. I'll probably go on and do a complete demonstration for you, seeing how these are done. There are a lot of them out there on the internet. If you want to see beginning to end, Little Hill Craft Co. If I think about it, I'll see if I can find her video. It's been a little while since I watched it. But I'll see if I can find it, and I'll see if I can link it in the description for you guys. So that could help. But everything I use, I'll also link down in the description. If you're interested in trying to make some, feel free. But give me a thumbs up before you head out. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.